With the ISA season well and truly underway and everyone thinking about their stocks and shares ISA, what have I been doing with my Trading 212 portfolio? So in this video, I'm going to show you my Trading 212 Invest account and also my brand new Trading 212 ISA account, which I'm really excited to show you guys. So make sure you stay to the end of the video to see that. So this is my Trading 212 Invest account, and as you can see, the current value is £30,030 and 42 pence. Overall, Trading 212 has calculated my return to be 3.4%. That's a £99 and 54 pence return, which is not too shabby. However, like I always say, this number isn't always truly accurate because it has to take a lot of assumptions in order to get to that. But anyway, let's go through all my holdings that I have in my Trading 212 Invest account, and then I will talk about the ISA. So Walt Disney, I have 0.12 shares, and that is down by 3.97%. So Disney has taken a small tumble over the past week. However, over the last month, it wasn't actually doing that bad. Trading 212 has this new feature where it actually shows the after hours and I think pre-market trading as well. So that's new and very exciting for people who care about that. Vodafone is finally in the green, and I have 35.1 shares in that, and that is up by 0.81%. So that's a 26 pence increase. Vodafone is still paying a very high dividend, which is actually really good, and they haven't seemed to cut that. So I have 0.015 shares, so £1 worth of shares in the S&P 500 by Vanguard, and I just bought that on Friday, so it didn't change much. The VJER, or the German DAX, or the Vanguard Germany All Cap, whatever you want to call that, that is down by only 0.56%, so that's an 11 pence loss for me, not too bad. The FTSE Japan is up by 5%, so looking good for that. The FTSE All World High Dividend Yield is up by 1%, so not a big deal there. Unilever has been doing incredibly well over the past month, and that is up by 11% in my portfolio, giving me a return of a massive 11 pence. So Unilever has a decent dividend yield of 3.4%, so that might be a good company to hold on for the long term. Unilever is a brand in the UK which produces almost everything that you consume, nearly. Is a stable company that should be around for a while. Tesla in my portfolio is up by a massive 47%, so that's a £2.37 gain. Tesco is up by 8.75%, so that's a 14 pence gain. Starbucks is also doing well, so it's one of those recession-proof companies. That is up by 5%, giving me a positive return of 96 pence. Rolls-Royce isn't doing too shabby. That's up by 25.91%, so that's a return of £6 and 67 pence. So over the past month, you can see Rolls-Royce has been steadily inclining, so not too bad at all. Pinterest is up by 12%, so that is like a technology company which has been doing pretty well over the past month, which is a good indicator that things are looking better. The inflation data came out much lower than expected. I think in the US it was 5% only. Fuel prices are way lower than they were last year this time, even though fuel production had to be cut in order to basically increase the prices. Even that, considering fuel prices overall compared to last year are down, inflation is looking slowly under control. Even though the Feds increased the interest rates last time, the stock market seems to be going up. So Orange is up by 4% in my portfolio, so that's a 47 pence gain. Nvidia is doing so well. So as you can see, overall in the past year, it's done a huge increase. Nvidia is at the forefront of artificial intelligence technologies. There was news that Elon Musk was buying thousands of graphics cards from Nvidia in order to do his AI stuff. Honestly, there is no one better right now at GPU acceleration AI stuff than Nvidia. AMD pales in comparison. Also, Intel has started to go into the GPU space. GPU just stands for graphics processing unit. Essentially what a GPU does is millions and millions, billions of calculations per second, and that is the sort of power that you do need to run complex AI scenarios. So Nvidia is up by 83%, and I think that will continue to keep on going as Nvidia has the lion's share of market share in GPU processing and AI technologies. National Grid is up by 11%, so that's a 58 pence gain. So Lloyds Banking Group, unsurprisingly, is down by 8%. This is all to do with the knock-on effects of Silicon Valley Bank collapsing and a few other banks in the US collapsing too. Fears are that bank runs are going to happen increasingly. A bank run is basically when everyone demands money from the bank and the bank doesn't actually keep that much cash as a reserve because it does other stuff with it, like mortgages, like loans and all sorts of stuff. And basically, if everyone wants their money, not everyone can have the money, and that leads to the bank 100% failing. So my biggest holding by far is in the S&P 500 with my favorite current stock, the GSPX by iShares. So I hold 302 shares worth £2,127 and I have a return of £78 here. I don't think this return number is exactly correct. However, I have been trading this. So if I go into my history, you can see that I've been buying and selling this and making small amounts of profit. It's a bit fun for me. I don't recommend doing that. I think you should just hold it for the long term. And as you can see, my average price is £6.78, so it's not too bad. Royal Royal Mail is up by 9%, so that's a £1.21 increase in my portfolio. IAG is down by 12%, and I do think that they're a finance company, so that makes sense that they're down because of Silicon Valley Bank. H&M is doing really well actually, with a 33% gain, and that is a positive return of £3.20. So as you can see, over the past month they've been doing really well. Seems like America is slowly starting to recover from the recession type environment, although that being said, it could be a bear market rally and it could lead to the real recession. But honestly, I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. I don't think anyone can predict a recession, so I would just keep investing as normal. GSK is up by 14%, so really good. Fiverr International is down by 2%, which is not anything significant. EasyJet has been doing really well over the past year, so that in my portfolio is up by around 40%, giving me a yield of 39 pence. Direct Line Insurance is just a terrible company right now. As you can see, I don't think anyone has any faith in Direct Line. However, I only have around £4 in shares in that, so I'm just going to keep it, and if it goes bankrupt, it goes bankrupt. I mean, I'm just going to add to the list of companies that I've invested in that have gone bankrupt anyway, so it's like a medal for me. So Direct Line is down by 18% in my portfolio. Lufthansa is up by around 9%, giving me a return of £2.15. Over the past month, it hasn't actually been doing really well, so as you can see, since the 4th of April, everything has been going down, but we might see a recovery sometime in the future. I mean, who knows with these companies, but aviation looks like it's been taking off, pun intended, over the past year, since, you know, the lockdowns and stuff like that. Deca DAX Plus Maximum Dividend is up by 16% in my portfolio, and again, I have no idea what this company is. I put in £1 and I got 16 pence in return. Carnival is down by 0.14%, which is basically just steady. BP is up by 1%. This is a company that has been showing record-breaking profits recently, and its share price is kind of stable, although over the past year it has been soaring. BMW up by 6% in my portfolio, giving me a return of 68 pence. Aston Martin up by a big 66% in my portfolio, giving me a return of £1.33. Apple is up by 13%, and this is mostly due to the fact that the S&P 500 in the past few days has been doing really well, going back to the values we seen back in February. Amazon is again up by 9%, but like we said, it's the same kind of rise because of the S&P 500. Alphabet, so basically Google, is up by 18%. Again, same rise that we're seeing from the S&P 500. Alibaba down by 4%. So it could be for a number of reasons why this Chinese company is not doing so well. Tensions between China and the USA are so bad. The whole Taiwan situation is looking really bad. So that's probably one of the reasons why Alibaba is not doing too well. So Airbnb up by a nice and healthy 15% in my portfolio. And lastly, AMD is up by 18%, and this rise is in line again with the S&P 500 as a technology company. If I go into my history, overall my realized profits is £30.45. Again, this number is not right because of the way that Trading 212 calculates it. So in terms of dividends, I've received £17.22 in total for my Trading 212 portfolio of around £3,000. So now let's go into my Trading 212 ISA, the thing that you have all been waiting for. Trading 212 ISA. So the current balance of my Trading 212 ISA is £20,161.27. So as you all know, the annual ISA allowance is £20,000. That is how much you can deposit into any given stocks and shares ISA, or that's the maximum amount you can deposit into any stocks and shares ISA per financial year. And the eagle-eyed amongst you might have noticed that my return is negative 0.06% with a loss of £11.96. How on earth did that happen, Jubair? You have a balance of more than £20,000, yet you're in negative? Well, this is because if you see here, I had £20,173.23 in cash. This is because I have been trading with the GSPX. Like I said, I do that sometimes in my invest account, but essentially right now I have 2,862.59 shares in the GSPX with an average buying price of £7.04. So my strategy here is again to ride out the dips. So as you can see here, I have a pending sell order, so I'm going to sell everything I have at £7.09. So if it ever reaches £7.09, it will execute a sell and I should receive that back in cash, which should be around £2,200. I can't reiterate this enough. I don't recommend anyone trading, but of course I want to do that. It's my ISA, it's my money, and it's very fun for me. So if I go into my history, you can see that I have been buying and selling this one fund already in the ISA. It hasn't been that long since the start of the financial year, and currently I've made £173 realized profit. That isn't to say that that will keep happening. I'll probably end up with a much bigger loss than that, so I'm only going to ever buy one fund in this ISA, which is for now going to be the GSPX. Because I'm investing everything into one fund, when there is volatility in the GSPX, which it is incredibly volatile, my portfolio will go up and down a lot. So it is not a good idea to do this kind of stuff if you need the money in the short term. However, I do have a long-term horizon. I do want to invest for at least 20-30 years before I retire. So I think right now I can actually ride out some of the dips in the market. My main strategy in trying to gain more wealth is actually increasing my income, which most of you should be trying to do, instead of trying to think of the stock market as a way to become rich, which is most likely not going to happen for 99.9% of you. But anyway, what I really like about Trading 212, and remember, I'm not sponsored by Trading 212. I don't even get free shares when you sign up with the link in the description down below. But one thing I did say I hated and made a whole video on that was the fact that you can't actually buy at a limit with all the money you have, with all the cash you have. You can't do more than 95% of the amount of cash you have. However, when it comes to selling, you can sell every single penny in that as a limit. So for example here, so if it reaches £7.09, I can actually sell all of that almost immediately. It does happen if you really want to see in partial fills. So for example, for around £20,000 worth, it does fulfill the sell in 4 lumps. So it does partial fill, 1 out of 4, 2 out of 4, 3 out of 4, 4 out of 4 if you really wanted to know that. That being said, it is actually much better than free trade, which has a limit of £9,900 per limit order, which is really annoying, because if I want to sell £20,000 worth of stuff, I have to make 3 different limits. I'm really enjoying this. I would actually rather have it like this with no limits on my limit orders, so I can sell, if I have £40,000, I can sell that all at once. But when it comes to buying, I know you can't do a sell limit for more than 95%, but I'd just rather just buy at market value if it allows me to just sell everything very quickly. So I'm really happy with Trading 212 so far. Their fees are very low. In fact, they are probably the lowest in the UK in terms of fees for a stock picking broker. Like I said, I only recommend 2 companies. One is Trading 212, which I have no affiliation with. The other is InvestEngine, which probably for most of you is the best option because it offers only ETS, very secure, incredibly low fees, even lower than Trading 212. So if you do want to sign up for any of those aforementioned companies, please feel free to do so. Make sure to check out some of my other videos, and I'll see you in the next video.